I've just been singing it all weekend. Countryside.
Interesting album.
Yes.
Because it confirmed.
Oh, you like Confirm, eh? Yeah,
I thought it was
nice
interesting. And the streams already, hitting, And,
deservedly so. Deservedly
interesting. Let's see where it takes him.
Indeed. Good morning,
beyond
George.
Good morning, Kojo.
Yes, good morning, Ray.
Good morning, young man. How you doing?
Look at this one. How was your weekend?
Oh, by God's grace, we survived.
I'm glad.
When he has a good weekend, obviously you see him.
Yes,
those
beaming and smiling and looking at his phone while he, text all kinds of ungodly things. All right, the inspirational song was brought to us by Duraplast, where Duraplast goes, water flows, and Republic Bank, where the one for you. Okay, so the Drive Safe campaign today brought to you by Joy News and Multimedia Group, supported by Toyota Ghana Company Limited, Toyota Superior Quality, and Imperial General Assurance, solid protection. Avoid all distractions, keep both eyes on the road and hands on the steering wheel, be visible. Drive with your lights on. That is how you drive safe. Okay, I suppose it's time we learned how to say it right, and today I'm teaching you how to pronounce a particular word that people butcher all the time. Say It Right is brought to you by Kingdom Books. At Kingdom, quality and affordability are their hallmarks.
Something must be done.
You say either, I say either.
Perhaps it's time for a quick refresher. How would you pronounce this word? Jeopardy. The word is jeopardy, not jeopardy. Jeopardy. It is the state of being at risk of harm, loss, or failure. Now, jeopardy originates from an old French word, jeu parti, which means a divided game or a game in which anyone could win. A dangerous game, if you will. And if you're still in danger of mispronouncing it, you could say peril, hazard, risk, or exposure instead. That's how you say it right. All right, so there you go. Jeopardy, not jeopardy. Yeah. All right, listen, before we get into the news review brought to us by Enterprise Life's Family Income Security Plan, Enterprise Your Advantage, Access Bank, More Than Banking, and CompuGhana, Passion for Technology, let's do a quick recap of News File. And they went to the market, or to be precise, to the Agric Ministry, to talk about the initiative, put in place by the Agric Minister to somehow bridge the gap in terms of fresh produce prices. They turned the Agric Ministry into a plantain market. And a lot of people had a few things to say about it on Newsfile. Let's get a quick recap.
What they are doing and the narrative that goes with it suggests that they are inciting the public against us, that we are profiteering. But that is not the case. We are not ashamed. Can they sustain it? Why are they not adding products like tomatoes? And they don't even know the structures of this market.
It's a laudable idea. Unfortunately, is it something that is going to be sustained? I think we should have a broader discussion on this matter and see how best we could set up approach which works best for everybody.
So we should be looking at the situation where we can preserve what we have harvested and bring it out as the months go by.
To what extent are we ensuring that this doesn't sit just in Accra, but it goes down to the district? So, for example, I'd love to see similar stores being set up across all our MMDAs, and we're feeding some of the foods to them. The problem really is it comes down to cost. The government cannot subsume all of that responsibility. So necessarily, you need some sort of market coordination mechanism in there. What is driving the cost of the product or the food is not necessarily about the thing itself, but you have to look at the inputs that's going into it. Fertilizer, and when they harvest the food and you're transporting it, the cost of fuel.
So the intervention by the ministry is purely to correct a terminal problem. And I am terming a terminal problem because we don't expect that. Because 3 years ago, we were not having the Ministry of Agriculture having to force itself into the business of bringing foodstuff into the market center for people to buy. The core mandate of the ministry is not to be trading stock, it's not to be trading foodstuff. That is well established. But they are just coming into this particular stopgap measure to address a problem.
Ayeka.
Could
So
you-
yeah,
Interesting. But for me, I remember there was an airline that was called Virgin Nigeria that had that tagline as touching the right spot. And are we really touching the right spot in this? I mean, what has caused this problem? You realize that at the farm gate and then in the markets in the rural areas, the prices are cheap. When it gets to Accra, it's high. There's a transport element that is causing this, and for me, these harsh decision doesn't solve the problem.
Yeah.
I mean, can there something be done so that these cost of transporting these goods from the farm gates to Accra, even if it's a specialized cheat or something for these drivers to have a different kind of different product supplied to them to get these stuff to the cities and all the rest? Because can you sustain
Maybe we have a
this?
special fuel
You know?
marking for.
I mean, something of that sort, because this is not sustainable. Yes, there's an element of people trying to cash in on this, a fact. But how widespread is that? So for me, inflation is still going up. It tells us that maybe we're still not hitting the root cause of the driver, because at least by now, we should have seen things slowing down. Rather, for the first time on the month, you saw it rising again. So for me, these things don't help. The money you would have used to do this thing, rather find a way to see how you can support the transportation system to drive these goods down. And you're not just about affordability, but also checking inflation. I mean, listen, inflation is the biggest thief. If you're trying to save revenue, look what inflation is doing to your interest payment. Look at what inflation is doing to your local currency. Look at what inflation is doing to your exchange rate, and even the whole cost of doing business as well.
As an addendum to what you're saying, the last issued inflation, the 40.4, these are the major contributors: diesel, petrol, granite, shelled, palm oil, washing soap, sunflower, cooking oil, millet, coconut oil, underwear women, granite oil, bambara beans, bread, wheat flour, avocado pear, and the bread and the wheat flour, they are the locally produced ones. The avocado pear, the bathing soap, banana, repairs of tables and chairs, sugar, instant noodles, and okra. What I'm trying to say is that if there's an immediate need to reverse something, these are the areas you target quickly.
And
because these are the areas that are seeing the massive, extremely high inflation elements.
The fiscal service always comes out to draw our attention to the
and they pointed it out clearly to you.
The drivers
so
of
pick
the
out the
inflation.
food elements in this and go
So
attack them.
Trying to do something to give the impression that I'm doing something by setting up markets,
listen,
it just doesn't
just
wash.
before we delve into the papers, I'm wondering, I like to think outside the box. And look, credit where credit is due. Somebody is trying to do something. I agree with you that this is not the best solution, but someone is trying. So if you are trying, if you are interested in solving the problem, then please maybe pay attention to some suggestions. Mama V made a suggestion on this show. She said that if the market women, the private market women, are saying that the cost of transportation is affecting their pricing, solve that problem. Provide transportation. That's it. Government, invest, provide transportation, hire private truckers or whatever. Let them transport the things to the different parts of the country, so that the market woman, the private market woman who wants to make profit, wants customers to be able to come and buy from her and afford, does not have to increase her prices so astronomically because of fuel price increases. So give that intervention. Don't sell goods, don't sell plantain and all of that. Just solve the transport problem.
And even from what our reporters who went there to cover the stuff, I mean, it appears even the prices are even equal to what is even on the open market.
So we're done zero. So why not
I
just...
hope nobody brings a very big budget in the future to say that this is the amount of money we incur for cutting goods for whichever countries come and sell
I think
to us.
there are transparent ways of doing this.
Yeah.
There are
I
transparent
hope
ways of
nobody
doing
brings
this.
that actually.
Leave the thing to tender or whatever it is, so we can all scrutinize the process and and then you bring in someone who no, let's be fair.
could you remember
We only like to pretend that there are no clean ways of doing things in this country, but there are.
And could you remember what the Guta person said, that they are trying to, there's already established systems there. Now, these transporters, when they realize that you're trying to take food from their table, they might even sabotage this whole thing. You understand me? So the problem is fuel. Yeah. Find a way to deal with these guys who are transporting these stuff from the farm gate to the market, even as kind of a subsidized product for them. Yeah. That thing that
we've been saying this since last year.
You understand me?
That it will be a major contributor. Transport's a key one.
Inflation is going up.
Yeah.
Inflation is hitting
Instead
your
of giving free fuel to ministers, who would then go and park outside an event and leave their engine on.
Running.
Give that free fuel to the transporters of food.
Yeah.
Let's think
that would be
outside
proper
the
sacrifice,
box.
actually.
Let's think outside the box. All right, let's get into the news review. What's in the papers?
Now, let me start with the biggest story on the front page of the Daily Graphic, the GJ Awards. And it says, rise above partisanship, NMC chair charges media as Portia Gabo wins Journalist of the Year. So 3-3's Portia Gabo was the Journalist of the Year. And very wonderful, what they call it, work she's done. She actually won 2 other awards in health reporting and another. But the biggest story from that night is the biggest baggers. You know what I'm saying? Yes.
It's like
the group that won the
eight, right? So we picked the highest award.
Yes, and let me just acknowledge these very distinguished personalities. So News for Awards, the best TV program in English, and yes, Kojo, you have to clap properly.
Nice. We love it.
Brilliant. Now let me move on to, they wrote Emmanuel Kranti. You know, Manuel mostly prefers the Emmanuel, not the Emmanuel. So he has not informed all other parties that he has personally changed his name.
No.
Yeah, when you edit your name and it's not on the Abide records, that's where the problem is. So Manuel was
he wants to impersonate a Dadabi.
Yes, Komla Dumont, most promising journalist of the year.
Wow.
And for the business and economics category, I heard you have a conversation before we come in. Yes. Acquah won that, and George tutelage and direction. Yes,
I mean, there's a teamwork. And we often people complain that we don't give support to SMEs, but this is something that Daryl over the years has done a lot of dedication to that space, and it's good that that effort in that work has been recognized.
The only problem is that if I suggest SMEs to him, he doesn't do it.
Oh, that's not fair. I think that he's been doing most of that stuff. That is
not for me. I mean, not in this area. But the other one went to Jojo Kobna, and Jojo's English name is also here, Solomon Jojo Kobna, for his documentary Searching for the Witch Hunters, and this was the TV documentary of the year. Now, Rachel Kojo Nyako took away the award in agriculture category, and Francisca Enchel also was recognized for her investigative piece Pay or Die: The Agony of Pregnant Women in Hospitals. Francisca was also named the best female journalist. Now the honor comes within less than 2 weeks after the organizers of the 33rd CIMG Performance Award recognized multimedia for its contribution to the entirety of the industry. You understand what's happening, right?
Yeah, still on top.
Yes, yeah.
So congratulations to all our team members, especially the business decks.
Some of them will get lunch on my very depleted pockets. Some of them.
I got a text message from Jeffrey in La. This is related to the earlier story.
Okay.
Kojo, do you realize the agric minister has developed some love for plantain over the past few years?
Yes.
As if that is all fellow Ghanaians eat in this country. We shall meet them in December 2024. Okay. I think he's inviting them to some kind of plantain party.
You know, he himself said the plantain was very cheap somewhere. People really go at him. And later on, there was a conversation about a professor who also had plantain conversation. But
can we do just one more paper very quickly?
Okay, so let me look at BNFT has unregistered SIM cards can't access data service from November 20, and it's still this whole thing about SIM card registration. And another interesting thing, Kojo, for subscribers of MTN, data prices should have gone up by almost 15% this morning. What we are understanding is that that increment has been postponed by MTN. We
Amen.
don't know what has influenced that, whether it could come up again or maybe it's indefinitely. Kojo. Yeah.
We thank God for the reprieve. Let's go online. The online review is brought to us by Zenith Bank in your best interest, Goyle Good Energy, and Achieve app. Visit your App Store or Play Store and search Achieve to download and install now. Think investment, think Achieve. Now, make life simple on the go. Pay the easy way with the Zenith card online or in store. With your Zenith card, you can pay for your Facebook ads, Netflix, iTunes, Amazon, subscription bills, and, of course, your online shopping or in-store purchases. Using a Zenith card gives you the opportunity to enjoy discounts, experience safe, secure, and convenient card transactions, and so much more. Think payments, think Zenith. Zenith Bank, in your best interest. Now, your oil marketing company of choice, Goyle, keeps making life ever so convenient. Goyle now accepts Momo for all fuel purchases. Just remember to Momo it at Goyle. That's not all. You can also use your bank card, all bank cards, to buy fuel at Goyle. Drive to the nearest Goyle station now, buy your fuel, and pay by Momo, bank card, or Goyle Go Card. Visit the Goyle social media platforms. On Facebook, they are Goyle.official. On Instagram is Goyle_GH. And Twitter is Goyle_official. Go there for more information on the service stations where you can conveniently use Momo. Goyle, good energy. Goyle, yeah, yedim. All right, so macho men clash with police at NDC Delegates Conference in Ashanti region. Surprise, surprise. And closure of Twitter Africa office unfortunate, according to President Acquah. Let's go. CNN has Italy hails exceptional discovery of ancient bronze statues in Tuscany. But right now it's time for the BBC News, brought to you by Fidelity Bank, believe with us, and Silver Star Auto, your trusted partner.
Over the globe, from Ghana to Burkina Faso, Cote d'Ivoire, Benin, Togo, Senegal, China, Morocco, France, Netherlands, and many other countries. We have made it possible to bring Ghana to the world. We have brought small and medium businesses closer to their customers across the regions in Ghana with our SME support facilities. We have brought relief and smiles to the faces of families with our employee personal loans. With our cutting-edge technology and digital support, we take the burden of complex thinking off you, making life simple. That is who we are, as close as a partner. Bank of Africa. We are indeed the African bank with the global reach.
Jack, you know my boss owns a fleet of commercial cars and he drives only brand new vehicles. Latest. Before he hired me, this is what he said. Krachi, my vehicles are my investment. It is a winning, now winning, and you buy any fuel apart from Goyle. Waboka, sign this undertaking.
But he was right?
Yes, and he's right. Goyle stocks only higher grade fuels, further enriched with XP3, multifunctional enhancer, more efficient, eco-friendly, and at no extra cost. Available at every Goyle station at Jibedia. Goyle Super XP Ron 95 and Diesel XP, higher grade fuels, excellent for modern engines and all vehicles. Goyle, good energy. Yeah, yeah.
It's not love until you can touch someone's heart warmly. It's not friendship until you continue to show acts of kindness. It's not peace until you can compromise and tolerate others. It's not education without the right plan to sustain growth.
At SIC Life, we have the perfect plan to guarantee you and your children's educational growth because we are your true friend for life. The SIC Life Education Plan Plus is specially crafted for persons from age 18 to 50 years. The plan ensures healthy savings returns and other attractive benefits and runs for a minimum of 10 years and a maximum of 20 years, subject to a maximum of 60 years. Further education today with SIC Life, your true friend for life. Get a quote. Call or WhatsApp us on 0501 456983. You can also visit siclife.com.gh for more information. SIC Life, absolute peace of mind.
A Razi Timmy, a Razi increment in my salary. This is all I ask this season. A Razi Bwami.
Mbappe, please stop disturbing God and switch your salary account to Access Bank now to get a triple salary.
Oh yes, it's as simple as that. Switch your salary account to Access Bank and stand a chance of winning 3 times your monthly salary. You heard me right, 3 times your salary. Also win exciting prizes like school fee scholarships, free DSTV subscriptions, interest-free loans, free insurance cover, cashback rewards, and a lot more by spending a minimum of 500 Ghana cedis with any of our Visa card. Promo runs from now to 30th April 2023. This promo is in partnership with NLA on the Caritas Lottery platform. Terms and conditions apply. Access Bank. More than banking.
To Newsday. This is the BBC World Service, the world's radio station.
Hello and welcome to Newsday on the BBC World Service with Rob Young and Victoria Uwonghunda.
President Joe Biden is due to meet China's leader Xi Jinping in person soon for the first time since taking office. As we'll hear, there are a number of contentious issues to discuss. We'll go live to our correspondent at the G20 summit in Bali.
Also, we hear from one of the leading Russian opposition activists, Vladimir Kara-Murza. He's written to the BBC from his jail cell.
I couldn't stay silent in the face of what's happening. Yes, the price of not staying silent is high, but the price of silence is unacceptable.
And we'll head to Sharm el-Sheikh for the UN Climate Summit as the new re-elected Brazilian President Lula da Silva arrives. And how about this for his opening line? I will have more conversations with world leaders in a single day than predecessor Jair Bolsonaro did in 4 years. That's all coming up after Bulletin of News.
This is Danielle Yawowiecka with the BBC News. Hello. President Joe Biden is due to meet the Chinese leader Xi Jinping in person shortly for the first time since taking office. They'll have talks on the Indonesian island of Bali ahead of the annual G20 summit of leaders from the world's major economies. Jonathan Head reports from Bali.
Mr. Biden says he hopes that both leaders will gain a better understanding of each other's greatest concerns from this meeting and find a better way to manage their differences. Relations between the two superpowers have deteriorated over Taiwan, China's reluctance to press Russia over Ukraine, and its growing military strength and assertiveness. There are many areas where other countries attending this summit believe the US and China could and should cooperate more, in particular over climate change and reviving the post-pandemic global economy.
Turkey's Interior Minister Süleyman Soylu says police have arrested a person suspected of having left a bomb that caused an explosion in Istanbul. Sunday's blast killed at least 6 people. Anna Foster is in Istanbul.
In the early hours of this morning, it was announced that police had detained the person who allegedly left the bomb. Last night, Turkey's Justice Minister said the focus was on a woman who spent 40 minutes sitting on a bench here on Istiklal Street. CCTV showed her leaving shortly before a bag left under the seat exploded, sending hundreds of shoppers running for their lives. 21 other people were detained in the hours after the explosion. It's the first major attack in Istanbul in 5 years.
The president of Ukraine says investigators have uncovered many bodies in areas of Kherson abandoned by retreating Russian soldiers. Volodymyr Zelensky said they'd found evidence of more than 400 war crimes. From Kiev, Catherine Bjarahanga reports.
Mr. Zelensky said the bodies of civilians and soldiers were being found as Ukraine took back control of parts of the southern Kherson region. He said Russia had left behind the same atrocities as in other regions of his country, which it had controlled. The authorities continue to restrict people's movements in and out of Kherson, concerned about the presence of Russian soldiers and saboteurs. The removal of mines continues, and residents have been warned to stay away from the central square, the site of days of celebrations over Ukraine's victory in the city, because of the risk they pose.
The British Finance Minister Jeremy Hunt is expected to say this week that the government's foreign aid budget will have to be breached by more than $1 billion a year for the next 3 years. The BBC has been told that this is due to the cost of supporting the growing number of asylum seekers. Aid spending is currently capped at 0.5% of national income, around $13 billion a year. You're listening to the latest world news from the BBC. The Sri Lankan government is due to present shortly a budget for the coming year to try to meet strict financial conditions for an IMF loan without provoking new social unrest. Earlier this year, the island was rocked by mass protests sparked by fuel shortages. More from Archana Shukla in Colombo.
Expectations are that there would be some amount of tax raises because the government has to increase revenues in the government coffers. That's the primary objective. And the second is to reduce the state expenditure. And all eyes are going to be on this budget from the IMF, from the external creditors of Sri Lanka, as well as from the people, because this will really chart out the program that the government has to bring more economic stability in the country.
Researchers have found that around half of all trees planted in reforestation projects in Asia do not survive for more than 5 years. An international team of scientists found that a fifth of saplings in tropical and subtropical forests died within the first year of being planted. The survival rate beyond 5 years was only a little over 40%. In recent decades, millions of acres of forest cover in Southeast Asia have been destroyed. A freight train in the Australian state of Victoria has derailed with 16 wagons coming off flooded tracks. Dramatic images show more than 20 large shipping containers smashed and piled up on the railway. There's been widespread flash flooding across Victoria following heavy rainfall over the weekend. The US space agency NASA has confirmed that it's on track to finally launch its Artemis moon mission on Wednesday after a number of false starts. The uncrewed space mission is the first of 3 test flights planned by NASA, with the eventual aim of taking 2 astronauts back to the lunar surface sometime around 2025, for the first time in more than 50 years. And those are the latest stories from BBC World News.
Thanks, Danielle, for that news, and welcome to Newsday with Vic and Rob. This half hour, we will...
Up next, we asked some Ghanaians what they would do if they were blessed with 100,000 Ghana cedis.
Hey! 100,000 Ghana cedis by this time. Masa, I'll buy a new car with sunroof. Make me a sheriff.
Me, 100,000 Ghana cedis. And on your free hakona road, maybe a shop's bare 5. Baku Kumasi, Baku was Sekindi, Baku Wali Wali. It's just say, me nationwide and Kasa. Where they see Kapuvo share.
You can also win 100,000 Ghana cedis in the Fidelity Bank Sika Boom promo. All you have to do is deposit and maintain 300 Ghana cedis and multiples of it in your Fidelity account every month during the promo period to qualify. There's loads of cash to be won in the monthly draws with a whooping 100,000 Ghana cedis in the grand draw. Make that 300 Ghana cedi deposit today. This promo runs from August 2022 to February 2023 and is in partnership with the NLA on the Currencies Lottery platform. Terms and conditions apply. Fidelity Bank. Believe with us.
When everything works in your car, it all sounds so smooth. But when you replace them with inferior parts, it doesn't quite sound the same. Get original Peugeot and Citroën parts and expert servicing from Silver Star Auto, the official distributor for Citroën and Peugeot in Ghana. Visit silverstar.com.gh or follow us on social media for more details.
Ghana, Munim 7 Seas, Ahmoding. 7 Seas, ma. Nipedianim Asra Fono Ahmoding. Eniani no a vitamin A, D, Abuani Pediano. 7 Seas war. Vitamin A, D, Abuani Pediano. Emma Wuni, Uhunam, Udompe, and no sing Ahmoding. Nothing so. A boy sees you, my way of the year. 7 Seas war. Omega 3. A share CSC Wakuma. Watching and new and Ninkosia. 7 Seas war. SCSC. Abusia Munina. A year cod liver oil. Ayananum. Adiatum. A free sitting. 7 Seas cod liver oil.
Ubenya over the counter medicine shop. Any pharmacy shop.
A dray. Honest chemist. And a crabber.
FDA adi edredin kratoi atum.
And there he comes, the man with many keys.
That's me, bro.
Safwahini.
One more critical key, and I'll be the most comfortable man. A key to my own home.
That's the one key you need. Just talk to the mortgage expert.
Republic Bank?
Oh, yeah. When you sign on to Republic Pension Backed Mortgage, you can own a home before you retire, you know.
Republic Pension Backed Mortgage, right?
It is fantastic. Good thing is, you get to use your Tier 3 pension contributions.
Wow. Soon, I'll also be a landlord.
For further info on Republic Pension Backed Mortgage, contact Republic Bank now. Republic Bank, we are the one for you.
It's the most action-packed breakfast show in town. The hottest music, the best giveaways, the great interviews, and all the laughter and fun you can imagine. Don't miss the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM. It's the best breakfast show in town. Coffee in your cup, enjoy on the set. The Super Morning Show is always the best bet on Joy 99.7 FM.
Body they throw me like coconut. Body they rise in my no. I say color you procoto, no go place logodo. Kelly they bossy my pololo. Can make a salute your komodo. Kelly the balance echo, I get paper. No go do me Diego, my Maradona. Kelly falapio sueto, nama farisa. Kelly your back, keep it connected.
That whistling section there. Oh, people have talent too.
The tools they use now, and I've been actually over the weekend. I spent some time hearing or keenly listening. Since I lost my AirPods, this is the first time I've listened to Nigerian music properly. I think between Burna Boy and the guy, they mention his name different from how they write it. The ASAKE.
Ashake.
Yeah, that's where my problem is. But how do you say ASAKE? Yeah, but I mean, there's some raw instrumental parts that gets me. I was first not sure, so I need to listen consistently. I don't know if it's traditional, if it's just your own, or because I don't hear
production value on some of these, Nigerian tunes. It's just, you see, quality. I can't hide it. Even if you are not a musician, when you hear it, when the thing hits you and the authenticity